Definitely. Like, I know the county girls will have had a good bit of football in the last couple of weeks, but you know, it's different then you go back to your club and you're playing with all your club mates, so it's very difficult. It's been over 8 months, and yeah, I think there'll be a lot of excitement, and just almost to get settled, they'll be just thinking let's have that ball thrown in, so it's very tricky to know. But saying that, we'll tell a lot in the first few minutes on how it's going to go, probably.
Absolutely. I'm going to shoot across, Nicola. They're making me do the walking today. They obviously think I need to do it. And of course, our broadcast today, you'll see, is sponsored by Sulis. So thank you for decking us out with the jackets as well, because there's a good breeze on the pitch here, Nicola, isn't there? So when you come inside, there is a good breeze here in Markievicz Park today. Will it have a big bearing, do you think?
Yeah, look, it is. There's good breeze going down the pitch there. So yeah, it is. It's always going to play a big factor in the game, especially with the two teams that we're dealing with here. Very pacey, like to use the ball, both of them, so the ball skills will be important today, keeping it down and work on that breeze when it's in your favour and when it's not.
Absolutely. What about the changes? I know you were saying, we were chatting on the sideline about Niamh Ryan. It is kind of a devastating blow for her. We think it's cruciate, is it?
Yeah, I heard, that's what I heard, and I heard there was another girline as well, a young one that done it around the same time, and it's a real pity at this stage, after waiting for this final so long and to do it the week or two before. It's devastating as a player for that to happen, but look, hopefully the team can pull together for her today and she'll have a medal in her pocket at the end of it.
I asked Claire about what bearing you think those changes will have. I mean, just looking at it, obviously you don't want to have to make too many switches to a team before throwing, especially with the added elements we've been chatting about there, where this is an unusual circumstance. We're having last year's finals now at this point because of restrictions. Does shifting of players because of injuries impact much on the team before a game like this?
It does, absolutely, but with club teams it usually works better because they're a unit for a long time, so they're well used to adjusting to each other. If they lose a player, for anyone, any team, it's always going to be tough, and especially last minute to make those changes, but I think they'll be fine. They've experienced players down there. I've been told she is very heavily relied on in midfield, which is tough for them, but they will pull together. They have plenty of talent there to replace her for today, and they'll be fine, I'm sure, no doubt, but it is a tough one for them.
I'm going to go back to Claire in just a second to kind of get a verdict on this one. What will you be watching out for in this game? What are kind of some of the keys, and who do you think can pull it off?
It's very hard to call. This would have been a different answer probably if you asked me last year in 2020. I really don't know which way it'll go because both teams are so fresh. You don't know how they've trained or prepared. It's early season for the clubs. I think Geevagh have massive strengths down the middle. They've been known for that. Big, tall girls, strong, experienced girls down the middle. And Glencar, Manorhamilton have pace and youth to burn. So it'll be two different teams battling out. They know each other very well. I really think it could go absolutely either way. I couldn't call it.
Okay, I'm going to pin Claire then, so she's going to have to make a verdict on it. She'll love this. Claire, how do you think this one will go?
Yeah, same as Nikki. If this was 8 months ago, you would probably make a different call. They both won their semis by 3, I think, so they have kind of tough games, or they had at least in the lead up to this final. I don't know, I'm obviously more familiar with Manorhamilton being a Leitrim woman, but yeah, I think it'll just depend on, I suppose, probably how the forwards are moving, and kind of how well they work as a unit. It's very hard to call. I'm gonna say it'll be a 2 or 3 point win max for whoever it is.
For whoever, she didn't even make a call. Oh, stop, ladies! By the end of today, I'll have literally dragged calls out of you. This is the first one. We let them away with it. So we are approaching throw-in time here in the first of today's games. The first of 3 at Markievicz Park. The first of 3 we have live for you on the Connacht LGFA Facebook page as well. Lots of sporting action to come. But for the moment, let's get you warmed up for this one and hand you over to our big match commentator, John Lynch.
Thank you very much indeed, Angelina. You're very welcome to the commentary position, where we are joined by Maeve Quinn this afternoon. We'll start off by giving you confirmation of what the ladies were discussing on the team selections. For Glencar Manor, as you can see, just one late change for them. It's in the half-back line where Hannah Johnson does not play. Amanda Sweeney is expected to move from 5 to number 6. That means Emma McLaughlin will move into the half-back line, and it opens up the door for number 18, Emily Conlon, to come in to the half-forward line. There's so much scoring power in that Glencar Manor team. Just look at who they have in the full forward line. Deborah Rooney, Ava Glancy are there, and the big news is that Leah Fox, who was injured in county duty a little bit earlier on in the season with Leitrim, she's fit to start the biggest day in the history of the Glencar Manor Ladies Club. Let's move on to the Geevagh selection for this county final. 2 changes in personnel before the game gets underway. Number 18 being brought in. Nicola O'Reilly comes in at the expense of Cochleen Corcoran at number 4. And the big news is that Niamh Ryan is out. It was well signalled during the week after that cruciate ligament injury. And number 17 has also been brought in, Kirsty Cullen. We do understand there will be 1 or 2 switches on the Geevagh team, personnel switches to coincide with those changes in personnel. But really it just sums up what county final days are all about. We were over checking the Geevagh team just a few minutes ago, and the enormity of missing out on this final very much hit Niamh Ryan, the player who had the cruciate ligament injury. She was in tears and was being consoled by her teammates over on the far side of the field. Everything set here, the team's lining out. Very shortly we should have the national anthem. A chance for a quick word from Maeve Quinn. Probably in the other 2 finals, Maeve, the Galway teams, with all due respect, will be coming in as favourites. This perhaps is the most difficult of all 3 matches to call.
Absolutely, it's an impossible one to tell, John, because really it depends on which team is there today and which team. I mean, both have a very good, strong line-outs, great firepower, and it's all to play for today. And it's delightful to see that both teams are getting that chance to play today.
It was well summed up down to the sideline. You've got the youth, the individual scoring brilliance that exists in this Glencar Banner team. Geevagh, for their part of it, bring huge tradition to the provincial championship.
They do indeed. They've been out in the Connacht Championship for, I think it's 9 of the last in the last 12 years or so. They have vast experience in it, and at the same time, this Glencar Manor team are coming with players, while not experienced at been outside of Leitrim, have huge experience at underage level.
Incidentally, the journey in the 2020 Club Championships will end today. Regardless who wins this, there's going to be no All-Ireland series. The reason being that some of the competitions in other provinces were not started. The Provincial Club Championships, that was. So, of course, the winners of this game will be more than content with a Connacht Intermediate Championship. You may wonder why the Intermediate game is on a little bit earlier than the Junior match. Well, the reason being, teams from Galway taking part in the Galway Senior or in the Connacht Senior and Junior finals. So they decided to put these 2 teams straight on the first match on the programme here today, and it makes perfect sense. Geevagh, obviously a Sligo club, just up the road a few miles, and Glencar Manor, as the crow flies, just really only over the road from here. So it really is a local derby in all intents and purposes. Markievicz Park looking absolutely brilliant. We've had the opportunity to look at some of the games here in the Men's Allianz League, a couple of Allianz Hurling League matches as well, and the condition really has made sure that we've had some really entertaining games, and the ball is thrown in and away we go. It's going to be Geevagh playing from left to right of the opening half, attacking down towards the scoreboard end, and straight away they get the ball into Kirsty Cullen, one of the players who was introduced late on for them, links it out inside there with their midfielder Cora Ryan, but the referee has adjudged that she has overcarried the ball, and that is going to be a free going the way of the Glencar Manor team. Immediately it goes down the field. Early opportunity for this Glencar Manor team. Aideen Glancy is the player who is breaking through here. She's got support outside her from Emily Conlon. Whistle sounds again from the referee. He spotted the infringement inside. We've mentioned him a couple of times. Time to give him a name check. He's Austin O'Connell from Galway. 2 teams going through the settling down phases of this game, but Murren Devaney has a gilt edge opportunity here to kick the opening score. This could be the dream start for Glencar Manor if they can manage to get this score. We're scarcely a minute into the action. Murren Devaney, that's not going to duly trouble the goal belonging to Geevagh, and it goes out to the left and wide. Early thoughts, Maeve?
Well, you can see it's up and down the pitch already, John, since it started. A key score there would have been nice to get. It was fairly far out, quite close to the 45 though.
It's interesting to note just on the conditions as well. There's almost kind of like a diagonal breeze blowing from the stand side over towards the terrace end of the field. Difficult to know who it's favouring in the opening half. Maybe slightly Glencar Manor. It's
slightly down the field, I think, yes, for Glencar Manor. Going their direction more than Geevagh at any rate.
Bernie Byrne is the player who brings it forward here for Geevagh, making some serious headway down in towards that full forward line where they'll be looking to use Sinead McTiernan all day long as a focal point of the attack. Ball squirms loose and it's going to come back on the Glencar Manor team, and they get it over to Emily Conlon on this near side of the field. Both teams going through a settling down stage of the match as Aoife Gilmartin has it. Whistle sounds again from the referee, and it's going to be another free taken quickly by Glencar Manor. No score as of yet. In possession is Murren Devaney. Oh, lovely ball way down to the far side of the field. This is
Rooney.
better now. Deborah Rooney moving in field, fisted outside of there. Possibilities, and the ball is in the net, and it's finished there by Ava Glancy to the back of the net. A dream start for Glencar Manor. It was brilliant teamwork. Glancy was in the end of the move, and Glencar Manor strike the first significant blow.
Yes, and that ball won there by Muireann coming out, the player almost waiting for the ball, and beautiful pass in.
Absolutely brilliant start. They lead by a goal to no score against Geevagh here. Our coverage on the Connacht LGA website and indeed on Ocean FM as well. Hello and good afternoon to you wherever you're watching this simulcast from this afternoon. It's back with Cora Ryan now for Geevagh as they look to bounce back immediately. Shocked by the concession of the goal, but they got it into Kirsty Cullen here, well inside the opposition half of the field. Links up with Sinead Mahan, back towards the Kirsty Cullen once more. Lovely play here from Geevagh. Ball flicked inside, they're coming in here for a goal of their own. Oh, great save by the goalkeeper there, Cammy McPartlin, a player who played in defence up until the semi-finals of the Leitrim Championship last year. She's injured herself in the process there, making that save. She's won 10 senior Sligo Championship titles with St. Nathan's in the past, played in a Connacht senior decider against the Galway champions Kildare and Clonberne as well, and indeed she's made a vital save there, Maeve.
Yes, very brave save indeed, John, and really she brings a presence to the goal line that Manorhamilton have been lacking in the past, and you can see it there. She got down, she got her body in front of that. Very brave save and well done.
Well, she's maybe paying the price for that save that had so much bravery about it. She's a huge player for Glencar Manor. They decided to deploy her back into a goalkeeping role. She's got so much experience. There is an argument made that she can convert outfield players into fairly good goalkeepers. She's certainly testament to that.
Absolutely. Well, as I say, she gives that presence there. She's not afraid to get out on the ball and has a strength on it when she's there.
Well, she is getting the treatment at the moment. Our coverage on the Ocean FM frequency today being brought to you by Bernie's Beauty Salon and O'Connell Street in Sligo. As I said, it's almost like a simulcast. It reminds you of the days of the beatbox, Maeve, when we had a simulcast going out on radio and television at the one time. Well, that's what we have today. A simulcast on all three ladies' Connacht finals live at Ocean FM, and indeed the streaming live on the Connacht LGA website as well, LGFA website through Facebook. So wherever you want to watch or listen, feel free to do so. We're back with the action. Glencar Manor's goalkeeper is thankfully fully okay and ready to go again, and here they come on the attack once more. Ball gone down towards the forward line. Geevagh with some defending to do. Racing back to gather it there is Megan Davey, deep in her own half of the field. Looks for that little bit of support, and Geevagh walked the ball out to Rebecca Breheny behind her own 45-metre line. Needs support. Has it from Bernie Byrne. Switches the ball in field once again as Geevagh get by their own 45-metre line now and confidently bringing the ball up the field. It's 1 goal to no score in favour of Glencar Manor. Here Kirsty Cullen. It comes to Eve Mahan. Dangerous ball dropping in round the Glencar Manor full back line, but they're able to deal with it adequately and efficiently and effectively. And once more they're going to get it out to this near side of the field. Mairead Glancy was the player involved in the move. Fisted pass away. Good play here from Rebecca Rooney. Linking up inside with Ava Glancy. Look at her go. She's going to take the ball here again. Ava Glancy on the move, onto the left boot. Ball dropping in there, but well cut out by the Geevagh rear guard. Megan Davey, player at the end of the move to benefit from that. Brings it out to her own 45-metre line. It's Glencar Manor who lead here at the moment by the scoreboard reading for them at the moment. 1 goal and 1 point and 3 points for Geevagh. Just the scores at the moment in favour of Glencar Manor with their point, with their noses in front. Right now it's going to be Geevagh again who have it, and it comes back here towards the centre half back Stephanie O'Reilly. And they're trying to work the ball inside here towards Leah Fox. Leah Fox kicking it over there to the far side again. They're working out so much space for the forwards now if they can get them into the game. But Ava Glancy, she's going to run through here. She loves these positions, you know. Look at her go! Brilliant save! Aisling Sweeney, the goalkeeper, getting down, sticking out the left foot, saving it almost down at the hair like to prevent that one, and it's gone out for a 45. All about the build up, all about the shot. Great goalkeeping.
Brilliant save there by Aisling Sweeney. Muireann, leaving Muireann isolated inside, 3 players in front of her, still managed to get a shot off, but a brilliant save by Aisling Sweeney.
Absolutely wonderful save indeed, and that certainly keeps the goal intact. Both goalkeepers have been brought into it here at different stages, so it's Geevagh 3 points, it's Glencar Manor 1 goal and a point so far in the game.
And Stephanie O'Reilly was that player down. She seems to be okay anyway.
Yeah, she seems to be okay from it. So the free being kicked in and been kicked in and been kicked over the bar there once again. Been sent inside there by Viglancy.
No,
Or has it gone wide?
It's gone wide,
It's gone
John.
wide. My apologies. It's gone wide. So no change in the score line. Just for the benefit of people at home, it's scoreline in favour here of the first water break and an opportunity for the two teams to come back out. Geevagh, by the way, have scored the 3 points in the game, and it's Glencar Manor who have got the goal and a point thus far. Just in relation to the graphics on screen. So right now, Maeve, just to get your thoughts on that opening period.
Very close, John, I think. Both teams a little bit nervy towards the back, and some balls they're having trouble with their kickouts. I think both teams, more so Glencar Manor, but their forwards are putting the back line under pressure for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a game that's so nicely poised at the moment. As we mentioned, Glencar Manor very much happy to have got that goal. So they will be absolutely delighted with that. It certainly puts them in a good position here. And indeed, the two teams, it was all a little bit, I suppose, about the settling down stages.
Yes.
They have got that at this stage more or less done and dusted. So we will be hoping now that they settle right into it here in the second half. So at this particular moment in time, we're getting ready to get the second quarter underway, as they refer to it now at this stage. So it's an opportunity for a restart over to the far side.
And it shows Geevagh's ability to get back into the game. They got a goal in against them, they've pulled it back, got the 3 points back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's been a match that's been so nicely poised thus far that if we can get I suppose a team that gets the next couple of scores here, we'll be hoping that they can settle in fairly early. It all starts off with a restart there from the Geevagh goalkeeper. Comes down towards this near side of the field once again. Geevagh attacking here. They get the ball over towards Geevagh McDonough. Geevagh McDonough bringing it forward, linking up inside there with Bernie Byrne. Bernie Byrne back in the field once more here towards Stephanie O'Reilly. The centre half back has gone back fairly deep to gather that one. Comes to Elaine O'Reilly, their scorer-in-chief up at the opposition into the field thus far in the game. Promising move here from the Geevagh ladies as they look to engineer something through the presence of Sinead Maughan in there once more. Again, the ball breaks free, but Geevagh are happy to retain possession. Maughan at the end of the move. Again, working the ball down to Sinead McTiernan. Player with supreme accuracy. Sinead McTiernan gets the shot in, and Sinead McTiernan has nailed it over the bar. Well, that score's been coming for her. She's been a constant threat throughout, and it's now Geevagh 4 points, Glencar Manorhamilton 1-1.
All even here, John, and Geevagh again showing how they can work it through and get that score, get those scores.
Yeah, Geevagh certainly adopted that short running style of football that is really working well for them. That's Megan Davey, far side of the field. Davey now taking on the Glencar Manor defence. Jim O'Braheny, out it comes to us. Niamh Maughan again takes the shot from distance, but that one tails out to the left of the post and just tails out wide. It's interesting to see the respective approaches of the two teams here. A Geevagh ladies team that have history in this competition, won it back in 2006 when they defeated Anna Down from Galway 5-7 to 3-11. First ever side from Sligo to win it. That game was played in Tuam Stadium. Indeed, a replay was needed back then to settle the issue. Here come Geevagh now with Stephanie O'Reilly. O'Reilly coming forward. Opportunity for them to hit the front. Stephanie O'Reilly gets the shot in, but it's gone wide.
Yes, I thought when she was going in there, she might have tried a cross ball across the goals. It looked like it might have been on.
The angle did look acute in fairness to her, but she decided to back herself. Well, she's a player with huge ability, Stephanie O'Reilly. One of the main players on this particular team that they will be looking to really very much push them forward here. Stephanie O'Reilly, 34 years of age now, 5'7", the executive officer. As we mentioned, made that debut back in 2002, won various junior leagues and championships and senior championships as well with the club in the past, so there is plenty of experience in this Geevagh team. They're moving the ball a little bit confidently now as the game goes on. Elaine O'Reilly has drifted out the field a little bit to get this one. Links up inside with Sinead Maughan once again. Good play here from Geevagh. Look at the way their direct running is paying off for them. Cora Ryan. Again, they need that little bit of support play outside. The shot lack conviction there in the end from the Geevagh number 12, and Glencar Manorhamilton have gone through another period where they've weathered the storm and they come forward once more. Excellent running here from Muireann Devaney. Look at her go. Muireann Devaney going right inside the 45-metre line brought to the ground unceremoniously, and she's won another free there, Muireann Devaney. Well, she really is a player that has got so much skill and ability. Current Leitrim senior footballer, made her debut for Leitrim in 2020, the Athlone Town lady soccer player as well, and indeed an under-19 soccer international. Played in a double-header against Northern Ireland recently, captained them, the Republic of Ireland that is, in a 2-0 victory away to Belfast, and certainly has a huge schedule at the minute between international soccer at Athlone Town and indeed playing inter-county football with Leitrim, and indeed with Glencar Manorhamilton here too. She really is a player that has got so much going on, and she's a player that Geevagh will know all about.
Yes, there's definitely a player they're watching out for. You could see there she carried it from her own 21-yard line right through past their 45.
Well, it is going to be a free at the end of all that for Glencar Manor. This game certainly has not disappointed. It's been close, it's been competitive, and it's given us plenty to work on so far. Emily Conlon gets the ball switched back there towards the aforementioned Ava Clancy, and Ava Clancy kicks that one in and over the bar. 1-1 from her in the game so far. She got the goal early on, she's got another point now, and the teams are level here again as Glencar Manorhamilton 1-1. It's Geevagh 4 points. The stopwatch tells us here we played 20 minutes in 1-2 I should say to 4 points at this particular moment in time. So Glencar Manorhamilton 1-2, Geevagh 4 points, and there's one between the teams. Glencar Manor in the lead.
Great score there by Alva Lancy. That's exactly what they need her to be doing. If she's able to keep picking those ones off, they'll have a good day.
Geevagh just not
back
here
again.
Comes Glencar Manor once more.
Deborah Rooney.
Deborah Rooney! What a shot, what a goal! Right into the corner of the net. The restart broke down for Geevagh, and Deborah Rooney was at hand to finish the ball low and hard into the right corner of the net. Brilliant finish from her. Aisling Sweeney could do nothing about it, and Glencar Manor have all of a sudden put daylight between themselves and Geevagh. It's 2-2 to 4 points.
Glencar Manor have such firepower up front. They're such a danger when they're in on goal.
Oh, they're running riot here at the minute. They're on the attack again. Dangerous ball played forward, and the goalkeeper just about got a touch to it. Leah Fox was in there, hovering with intent, but the goalkeeper, Aisling Sweeney, had to come out. She didn't know whether to stick or twist at that stage, but all of a sudden, from being in a position of parity, Geevagh, from having clawed their way back into the game, Glencar Manor have turned on the fireworks up front.
They have, and Geevagh are really under pressure there in that full back line, where the Leah Fox and Dervla Rooney are lining up to take their scores.
Yeah, there's plenty of firepower in that Glencar Manor team, there's no doubt about it. They've got another 45 coming up here, and it's a period of sustained pressure. We played almost 23 minutes at the opening half. Ava Glancy is going to go short this time. There's so many options. She was thinking about taking the 1-2, but Muireann Devaney instead has decided to try and kick it in towards the full forward line, but it's well anticipated by Stephanie O'Reilly. It's a period where Geevagh have to weather the storm now. Sarah Reynolds, again they've given the ball away, again inside their own 45-metre line, and again it's gone down to Leah Fox. Leah Fox goes to ground. She's been stopped on the way through there. Looks to be in a little bit of discomfort from the result of the challenge. The referee going in almost immediately, Austin O'Connell, the man from the county of Galway. There'll be two Galway clubs in action later here this afternoon, but it's going to be a free in here once more for Glencar Manor. They're really intent now on keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Muireann Devaney with a point to her credit. Geevagh with a lot of players back on the line. Devaney taps the ball in and over the bar with minimum effort. Her second point of the game. Geevagh trail by 4 points to 2 goals and 3 at this stage, and really all of a sudden there with a short scoring burst, Glencar Manor are putting a little bit of distance between themselves and the Sligo champions.
Yeah, they're really putting the pressure on, John, and I guess they looked a little uncomfortable when Geevagh were up in their back line, and Geevagh didn't make the same use of the ball then.
Yeah, there looks to be that little bit more of a threat in the Glencar Manor team when it comes to scores. Pat Corrigan, the manager, has done an absolutely fantastic job with this young team. So much individual brilliance there, but he's definitely got them playing as a very strong collective unit as well. Emma McLaughlin was the player who set up that latest attack for Geevagh. They need a score from somewhere now, you know, just to settle them down a little bit. They've won a free. The player who was fouled was Amanda Sweeney over on the far side of the field, wearing number 5, but of course operating in that centre half back position due to the, well, 2 changes in personnel that they had to make from the team that appeared, the starting 15 that appeared in the programme. Don't forget the big news from the Geevagh team. Niamh Ryan, of course, course, out with that cruciate ligament injury. A huge loss for them. How they could do it having her out there at the moment. But at the moment it's all going the way of Glencar Manor. And again they're attacking on the far side of the field. And again it's going to be their number 13, Marin Devaney, who's placed that one over to the full forward, Deborah Rooney. Rooney's got options left and right. Rooney's on a solo run. In comes Rooney. There goes the shot. And there goes the point. Options galore for Deborah Rooney. 1-1 for her. But just as there was so many options outside her, the Geevagh players didn't know whether to stay with their own players or try and converge on her. In the end, they afforded her a little bit of space and she kicked it over the bar. 2 goals between them, 6-point lead.
Yes, and she had the option. Leah Fox was again hovering with intent and looking for that cross ball that she might hit in from the ball in the air.
Over 25 minutes gone. This really has been a power spell from Glencar Manor. Leah Fox again running at the pair onto the right boot. Shot coming in from Leah Fox. This time it's gone out to the left of the post and it's gone out wide. Dare I say it, the last thing Glencar Manorhamilton want to come at the moment is half time.
Absolutely, they have the game on the run at the moment, John, and they need to keep this pressure on and keep the scores ticking up.
Well, ladies football can change. It can change significantly. We know that from experience. But at the moment, it's Glencar Manor who very much will want to go for the kill here at this stage for Geevagh. Well, I'm sure they will want to hang in the game, maybe try and get a couple of scores or two before half time themselves. But Pat Corrigan must be absolutely delighted with the way that it's going. As I mentioned, the manager has done such a wonderful job. Kieran Sheridan there beside him, and let's not forget Matthew Corrigan as well, Pat's son, who's an integral part of the setup here. I was talking to him a little bit earlier on today as well, and he was really looking forward to this game. He said the team were confident and well prepared, and you know something, he nailed it dead right. Bernie Byrne placed that one outside to Stephanie O'Reilly. It's a time for cool heads now for Geevagh. Stephanie O'Reilly will be one of the players that has that understanding there with Sarah Reynolds. They've been in tight corners in the past. It comes back out here to Elaine O'Reilly. Elaine O'Reilly again having that opportunity to play it down. Mohan is one of the players that is very much linked up well with Sinead McTiernan all afternoon. McTiernan, Mohan. It's that 1-2 that we've been talking about. Now Sarah Reynolds. Look at the numbers around her, but Sarah Reynolds still gets the shot away under pressure, and that goes in from Sarah Reynolds. It's a badly needed score for the Geevagh ladies. It's Sarah Reynolds' first point of the game. 3 of their scores now have come from that half forward line, and they reduced the deficit to 2-4 to 5 points. Crucial score for the value of the game and indeed for Geevagh's chances.
Absolutely crucial, and Geevagh are managing to get a score most of the time. They get the ball down past the halfway line.
Cammy McPartland has thankfully recovered and good juice in the kick out again. Gets it towards the corner forward there, Deborah Rooney and Marin Devaney. It goes back out to Rebecca Rooney. Rebecca Rooney into the centre half forward. Aideen Clancy placed that one outside her to Aoife Gilbarton. Look at the way Glencar Manor are transferring the ball through the hands now at the minute. It comes all the way out to Emily Conlon on the main stand side of Markievicz Park. Takes the 1-2, moves into a central position now, gives the pass outside her once again to Aoife Clancy. Back in it comes to Leah Fox. Oh, they're running at the pier. Leah Fox, right footed shot of Leah Fox. You know something, that is absolutely beautiful to watch. Maybe not if you're a Geevagh supporter, but the play that Glencar Manor have put together here in this opening half, the team play, the movement, the passing, the options for them. PC, Pat Corrigan down there must be absolutely delighted and thrilled with the way this is going.
Lovely score there, John, just weaving it in and out and weaving it in and through and onto that score, taking their time, not panicking.
It's been such an enjoyable game to watch here. 2 goals and 5 for Glencar Manor, 5 points for Geevagh. The scoreboard reads at this stage we're about 90 seconds plus injury time away from the end of the opening half. Geevagh with a little bit of a hill to climb, maybe not a mountain yet, but it's certainly going to be a challenge for them. But here they come. Here comes Sarah Reynolds, the full forward, plays the ball inside there. It's eventually going to come out to Sinead Mohan again. Back it comes to Niamh Mohan, who gets the shot away under pressure as he kicked that one, she kicked that one, and it's gone out to the left of the post and it's gone out wide. In fairness to the Glencar Manorhamilton defence, they're tackling like tigers in there. They're not affording the Geevagh forwards any time or space on the ball.
They're not on their half forward line or right back in the half back line defending and helping out as well. There's great movement from the half forward to the half back line all the time.
Speaking of great movement, Deborah Rooney has very much epitomised that all afternoon. She was the starting point of this latest attack from Glencar Manor. They're making space in the forward line. Here's Marin Devaney once more. Marin Devaney sends it in and sends it over the bar. 3rd point of the game from her. And Glencar Manor now at this particular moment in time move up to 2-6. It's 5 points for Geevagh. But the way that Glencar Manor are moving players out, they're creating space inside for the players that they're leaving in that forward line, and really the results are devastating.
Absolutely, and you mentioned Dervla Rooney. She's been up many times in their half-back line, clearing it out, and the beautiful passes they're giving each other.
They're putting a full court press at the kickouts as well, but in fairness to the goalkeeper there, Aisling Sweeney, she did well to get that away from Bernie Byrne, but it's won back by Glencar Manor again. Emily Conlon brings it forward here. The team from North Leitrim have certainly settled well to their task here. Leah Fox, great to see her back. Such a talented player, such a huge future ahead of her, not alone at club level, but for inter-county and Leitrim as well. Remember, they play in a Division 4 league semi-final a week from tomorrow. They're down in St. Tierna's Park and Clodagh for that one. Again, for our listeners at Ocean FM, it's another game you'll be able to hear live. But right now, Geevagh on the attack here, leading some scores. Some Sinead McTiernan gets it down again towards the defence, but well read by Emer Feely. There's been a lot of headline grabbers in the Glencar Manor attack, but the defence has played well too. Deborah Rooney has set that latest attack in motion for them. It's gone way over to the far side of the field. Comes out here to Ava Glancy on the edge of the semicircle, kicks it in left foot and kicks it in and kicks it over the bar. 1-4 I make it for her. It's been some performance. Been a tour de force in the second quarter here from the Glencar Manor attack, and they lead by 2-7-5.
Geevagh are really struggling to get to grips with the speed of this Manor attack that are coming straight at them from their own half-back line.
Unbelievable, and you just look at the age profile of this Glencar Manor team as well. It must be frightening for the rest of the clubs in Leitrim, maybe even Connacht, to see some of the talent that's out there. And with the help of God, if longevity is on their career, these girls could dominate for quite some time to come, Dave.
Absolutely, that's certainly in their future, John.
Yeah, well, other clubs will certainly have to raise the bar to try and get to the level where Glencar Manor have all of a sudden catapulted themselves too, but things can change very quickly. And you're right, Geevagh Officer, Pearl, Stephanie O'Reilly was fouled there. We're a minute and a half into injury time at the end of the opening half. O'Reilly fouled as she was going through, and really from somewhere now, what can Geevagh change at half time?
They're certainly going to have to do something about stopping the Manorhamilton players from running through. They're going to have to get a lot more bodies in front of them, I think.
Sarah Reynolds about this kick this free. It could be easier said than done, you know. It comes down inside here to the corner forward. Here's Gemma Breheny. There is scores in this Geevagh team, make no mistake about that. Now can they get one before half time? They're bearing it here dangerously on goal. Again the goalkeeper and defender is out. Rebound falls Conley, and Geevagh have got a lifeline. They've got the goal. It's been finished to the back of the net by Niamh Maughan. It's one that they needed. It's a score that's put them right back in it, and it totally changes the whole dynamics of the respective team talks at half time. Glencar Manor 2-7, Geevagh 1-5. Niamh Maughan has given them a lifeline.
They needed that before half time, John. Came at an ideal time for them.
Absolutely, it was a brilliant goal. Again, the goalkeeper was out. Again, there was bodies on the line there. But what did we say? There was scores in this Geevagh team. There was no doubt about that. And when they needed it most, they've got it. And it's certainly a very much a different game now at this stage. 2-7 to 1-5. I tell you what, it's all to play for in the second half.
All to play, only 5 points between them, John.
Absolutely brilliant intermediate final. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you're watching our streaming coverage on the Connacht LGA website, or indeed listening to it on Ocean FM, where our coverage this afternoon is brought to you in association with Bernie's Beauty Salon on O'Connell Street in Sligo. Approaching the end of the opening half here, Glencar Manor lead Geevagh by 2-7 to 1-5 in what has been a rip-roaring Connacht intermediate final thus far. Now, Geevah's turn to attack again. Remember, they were on top at spells in this game, just that the Glencar Manor brilliance really knocked them for 6, but they've come right back into it again, led by the likes of Elaine O'Reilly. Far side of the field here now. Geevagh, since they can latch on 1 or 2 more scores here before half-time, they've got it into Sinead McTiernan. She gets the fisted pass away, but Glencar Manor weathered the storm on this particular occasion. Emily Conlon, way back in her own half of the field. Ball played on this near side of the field, and now Glencar Manor can hit on the counter-attack. Lovely direct play in again towards Marin Devaney. Look at the run of Aideen Glancy outside her, but she's gone instead in towards Leah Fox. She's got that knee bandage, so she's moving well. Leah Fox taking on the Geevagh defence. Still Leah Fox gets the pass away. It's Ava Glancy. Can they score here before half-time? Ava Glancy gets the shot in. They certainly can. It's another point for her, and it's one that they needed. It's important that they've got that little bit of a cushion. It's 2-8 Glencar Manor. It's 1-5 Geevagh. We played 34 minutes at the end of the opening half.
And David Lancy putting that one over with her right foot that time.
Well, there goes the half-time whistle. There's going to be so much analysis for the girls to talk to down about on the sideline at half-time. Let's briefly get your thoughts on that opening half. Glencar Manor in the driving seat. 2 goals, an 8-1 goal and 5 at half-time.
Wonderful first half, John. Very enjoyable football, end-to-end stuff that we're having here. Geevagh are going to have to get to grips with the Glencar Manor speed and pace in the attack if they're going to have any chance in this game, though.
We've seen some wonderful scores. We've seen 3 goals in the opening half alone, and all 3 goals, well, you could say they've all been brilliant goals in their own, in their each and every individual case.
Yeah, both forward lines are well able to string the passes together and to work together. There's great teamwork being seen there.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. The individual brilliance of some of the Glencar Manorhamilton players, we spoke about that coming into the game. Their movement in the forward line has been a real cause of concern for Geevagh. Great
teamwork being seen there, and they're spreading it out. That last attack, they were from one side to the other, available for the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was fantastic stuff for them, but how important was it for Geevagh just to get that goal before half-time? That really gives them something to believe, something to cling on to here at the interval.
It does. They certainly needed that, John, to give them any chance of being ready to go and have a chance in the second half.
All right, okay. Well, I think our analysts are ready to take the reins at half-time. We'll take a break and then we'll be back with second half analysis at the interval here. It's 2-8 to 1-5. Glencar Manor lead Geevagh in the intermediate final.
Solace has been lighting Irish homes for many years. Now, with the drive towards LED bulbs and more energy-efficient lighting, Solace also leads the way. Solace would like to wish everybody taking part in today's county finals the very best of luck. And remember, when you're choosing a bulb for your home, choose Irish. Choose Solace. The light of Irish life.
Wishing our senior ladies team good luck in the Connacht LGFA Club final. Bring it home, girls. From all your supporters at Glencar Manorhamilton.
Best wishes to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club Championship finals, especially Owen Rua, Geevagh and St. Nathies. From all at Sligo LGFA. Our all-county draw tickets are on sale. Top prize, €5,000.
Best of luck to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club finals from Deirdre and the staff of Molly Fultons. Best of luck to Kilkerran-Clonberne ladies in the 2020 Connacht final.
Wishing all the teams the very best of luck in the Connacht Club finals. Especially Owen Rua in the junior final from Raymond and all the staff at Ridgepool Fuels and Valeting Ballina. For all your fuel and valeting needs. 087 0522 101.
Best of luck to all teams playing in the Connacht Club finals from all Roscommon LGFA.
Best of luck to Owen Rua from Muddy Burns Bar and Restaurant. Come and experience our new outdoor heated and roofed dining area. If you'd like to be part of our team, contact Mark at markcar1805@gmail.com.
Best of luck to our players and management in the Connacht Junior Final. Thank you to everyone who has supported our new lotto. Yearly tickets still available and weekly tickets are available online if you would like to support. Visit our Owen Rua Facebook page for more details.
All at crushers.ie. Wish Kilkerran-Clonberne girls the very best in the final. Primary plant.
James Foy Auto Service have been providing the public with an honest, reliable and prompt service since 1989. With over 120 years combined experience, we specialise in vehicle, accident and breakdown recovery and have provided a successful 24-hour service for the past 30 plus years. We have built a highly trusted and respected reputation throughout Sligo and the surrounding area for our breakdown recovery and garage services. You can be sure that with our skills, experience and ability, you will be in safe hands. Call 096 47052 or 087 254 1243. recoverysligo.com.
Join the Hub, co-working in Sligo. Just bring your laptop and work with us. Located in Colooney, with lifts to all floors, canteen, dedicated desk, reception facility and free car parking. www.cmd.ie or 071 913 0742. info@cmd.ie. Best wishes to all the clubs taking part in the Connacht Club finals, especially the St. Nathies team and management. For painting and decorating, give Jerry a call. Jerry O'Connell, painter and decorator. No job too big or too small. Call Jerry on 086 846 7962 or 071 914 6148. Best of luck to everybody taking part today.
Interesting to get the thoughts of our two analysts. They've swapped sides. They're trying to, I think, catch me out at some stage. But Nicola, listen, we were just chatting there off air. This could be a really, really good second half, couldn't it? A really tight finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there is fight in Geevagh. I know that from experience. And they can kick long, so the wind is going to suit them. They'll be taking long range shots. And on the other side, playing into the wind, Glencar look like a team built for it. They've got pace, they've got youth, they've got massive work rate out there. I think this is going to be such a tight second half. You can see Geevagh starting to come to life again now. Yeah. So it's going to be
that goal came at a really good time for them because, even though they hadn't gone out of the game, the scoreboard could have been very hard to haul back in if they hadn't gotten that goal before half time. So it really has injected life into this one.
Oh, massively. Look at the sin bin. You could tell they were getting under pressure with that sin bin. And to see Megan come back onto the pitch, they needed that, and that was her arrival back, was them hitting back at that scoreboard to show that they're still in this game. So fair play to them for knocking on them. It'll be a tough second half now.
Well, let's look at Glencar Manorhamilton. I mean, I was really impressed with them. Alva Clancy there, a corner forward. Leah Cox, they have some great players. I mean, they were two of the two goal scorers as it happens. But even Emily Conlon, who came in today at number 18, is all over the place.
Yeah, her work rate is brilliant. They're very hard working side, and they've got a very dangerous forward line, and that's a tough mix for any team to take on. The standouts definitely Leah Fox and Muireann Devani. Like, she's just brilliant, and you can see Geevagh have had to adjust. They've had to put their players, their bigger name players, on those girls to try and handle them because they're causing a lot of damage in there. But yeah, no, there's the work rate throughout Glencar Manorhamilton's team it's very noticeable. It's very good work rate, really good.
Absolutely. Claire, let's get your thoughts on that. Frantic at times, the pace of it, it became end to end. We're talking about how that goal for Geevagh has brought them back into it. We're looking forward to what should be a great second half. The breeze is strong now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the breeze is definitely strong. It'll be interesting to see how that benefits Geevagh. I don't know if it will be that much of a disadvantage to Glencar Manor. Like Nikki said, they're a very, very hard working team, so they won't put them off too much that they have to work around that breeze. That first half had everything. There was saves on the line, brilliant saves from goalies, yellow card, 60 metre plus run from Muireann Devani. Really, really fast paced game, very enjoyable to watch. And look, Manorhamilton obviously are in the driving seat right now, but that goal really for Geevagh there kind of came against the run of play, and it just shows you how they can stay in a game and they're never going to be beaten till that final whistle. So it should be a cracker of a second half.
Yeah, I mean, just to talk about Glencar Manorhamilton, their defensive work impressed me as well before that goal came. I mean, they were on top. They enjoyed that kind of purple patch. They seemed to be cutting out play at vital intervals when Geevagh were in possession. They're going to need the same work rate again though, aren't they?
Definitely, and particularly now that Geevagh have the wind, they will be taking their shots maybe from further out, and they've plenty of players that can take those shots, so it'll be maybe a little bit different in terms of how they approach it. They had the players back for that goal. It's just one of those things, like they defended it quite well, but yeah, they will work to the final whistle, and I think maybe if Geevagh are going to take those shots from further out, it might suit Manor as well, really, if they can protect their goal mouth. But yeah, it should be interesting to see, but Manorhamilton will work as hard as they need to defend that position.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke there just about some of the key players on both sides. I mean, we were chatting about the two goal scorers for Glencar Manorhamilton, but for you, what do you need to see from Geevagh in the second half, or some of their key players to kind of really put it up to Glencar Manorhamilton?
Yeah, they would probably like to see the likes of Stephanie Riley being able to push forward a little bit more. She seems to have stepped back now into kind of a more man-marking role, so it'll depend. I suppose she'll use that win to her advantage, but yeah, Geevagh are going to have to push on now probably, because they got themselves back in the game there, and if they can get another point or two straight away after the throw-in, it could be a very different proposition to the scoreline right now.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting second half. I'm just going to get a final call. They were on the fence before we started it. Nikki, a final call from you on this one. I mean, do you think, look, we have a scoreboard now, so you can give me a bit more of an indication. Do you think that Glencar Manorhamilton can hold on, or will we see a surge from Geevagh?
I know for a fact they're going to see a surge from Geevagh. They don't know how to give up. They actually don't know how to queue up. I'm still full of splinters. I'm staying on that fence more so than beforehand, because both teams are playing outstanding football. It is going to go down to the wire. There's fight in Geevagh, and for a young side, they seem very calm and experienced. The Glencar Manorhamilton big time, so I couldn't call it even if I tried.
Oh, look, Claire, please tell me you're going to help me out here. You're not staying on the fence, are you? Those splinters can really hurt.
Look, I don't know. I'm not as familiar with Geevagh as Nikki would be, so I don't know. But just looking at the absolute burning pace that the Manorhamilton forwards have, they could sneak a goal if they need it. I'm going to call it as Glencar Manor by 2 or 3 points.
Okay, brilliant. Well, Claire's not on the fence. Nikki's still on that fence. We're nearly ready here for the second half in Markievicz Park. Let's go back to John and Maeve.
Indeed, Angelina, for that. You're very welcome back here to the commentary box. I think it's too comfortable on that particular fence down there at the moment, but well, we'll have to wait and see. It could be close, you know. These two teams, as we mentioned, it's a Geevagh team trying to, in many ways, replicate the success of 2006. They have history in this particular competition. They defeated Anna Down from Galway in that particular final. Stephanie O'Reilly on that day, a total of 4-4, helping them on their way. The team who are situated in the southeast of Sligo, founded in 1886, and now have 300 members in their 127th year. Well, they've got a battle to come here against the Glencar Manorhamilton team that have been certainly playing well in the championship in Leitrim and bringing an awful lot of that form here today. Remember, they beat the Mayo champions in the provincial semi-final. Apologies, by the way, in relation to a breakdown in transmission on our visual on Facebook a little bit earlier in the first half. Hopefully we'll have those situations resolved, and we're back live here on Ocean FM and indeed on our LGFA, Connacht LGFA Facebook page. Our coverage brought to you on the streaming by Solace, shining a spotlight for local heroes, and indeed on the radio and the things. Our coverage brought to you by Bernie's Beauty Salon, situated on O'Connell Street in Sligo. Back live with the action. Glencar Manor playing against the breeze in the second half. Coming on the attack early on. Blair bringing it forward here for them was Emma McLaughlin. Just the pass not going to the intended target. You can probably hear it there, the displeasure of one or two people down on the sideline with that, but it's back on the Geevagh side once again with Stephanie O'Reilly. Moving it quickly here towards Gemma Breheny. Plays it outside here to the centre half forward. Here's Sarah Reynolds. First score is going to be crucial in the second half. If Geevagh get it, they really believe they'll be right back into this one here. They're working it into a player in an advantageous position. It's Elaine O'Reilly who shoots some distance, has the distance, not the accuracy.
Yeah, pity there. Geevagh could do it having got that point. Elaine O'Reilly was the right player on the ball, but she missed, I'm afraid.
That's the voice of Maeve Quinn, our co-commentator for this intermediate final here. We're a minute and 13 seconds into the second half. If you just joined us, it's as you are at half-time. Glencar Manor lead 2 goals and 8 to 1 goal and 5. The breeze will be with Geevagh slightly in the second half. That's won over the far side by Aoife Gilbarton. Brother Pat, well known in GAA circles in Manorhamilton as a former men's footballer with Glencar Manor. Good cornerback play there. Well, initially good cornerback play, but it's back at the Geevagh side. Now can they do something here with it? It's come back out to Niamh Maughan again. She fancies a score from here. She has the opportunity to get it and takes it really well. It's the opening score in the second half of the Geevagh number 13, and they're slowly but surely bringing themselves right back into contention here, Maeve.
Great work there by Geevagh to get possession back, and they got that good start that they needed.
Certainly have that start that they needed, very much laying down the gauntlet to the opposition of Glencar Manor. The two teams winning their semi-finals as far back as October the 4th, 2020. It's been a long layoff. Here's Muireann Devaney. She doesn't seem rusty in any shape or form. Devaney running again. Opportunities here for Muireann Devaney onto the left boot. That looks good. Perfect response from Muireann Devaney. She gets the point there for the Glencar Manor team, and they move 2-9 to 1-6 clear. They can always get a score, you know, just when they need it, just to kill that Geevagh revival and stop it in its tracks.
That's right. And Stephanie O'Reilly has moved on to Muireann there. She has her hands full keeping with Muireann, and Manorhamilton giving her a better ball in than they had the previous time, putting it to her side.
Well, you can talk about individual battles. There's so many fascinating ones all around the ground here at the moment. Geevagh on the attack again. That's gone down here towards Gemma Breheny. Lovely play inside. The number 5, Caroline McDonough, right up in the attack. Here's Sinead McTiernan. Shoots inside unconvincingly, out and wide. A little bit unusual to see a player of the calibre of Sinead McTiernan shoot like that. I think she got caught in 2 minds whether to pass or to shoot.
It looked a little like that. It was a weak enough shot. Well, really, the shot wasn't on.
It wasn't on, definitely. And the stopwatch now telling us almost 4 minutes played here or almost over 3 minutes played in the second half, and is back once again here with the Glencar Banner defenders, and that's Emer Feely. Number 2 plays a Tifa Gilmartin. Real force in the second half here. Played well in the opening half too, I must say. It comes back out here once more to Ava Glancy. Plays the ball inside to Leah Fox. Fox is on the run again. Still Leah Fox. Here's a chance for Glancy. Here's a chance, and it comes inside from Merrin Devaney, but well saved by the goalkeeper. Well, Merrin Devaney at the end of the move is the second brilliant save that Aisling Sweeney has made in the game. She's been beaten twice at 2 goals in the match so far, but she has certainly made 2 very important saves that has kept Geevagh in this particular match. The young goalkeeper from Geevagh right now. Geevagh attacking here themselves again. Referee's whistle sounds, and it's going to be a free in. Talk to me a little bit about the performance of Aisling Sweeney there. 2 crucial saves from her.
2 absolutely fabulous saves for her, and she did so well because the ball, Leah Fox could have taken a score, and she flicked it over to Mern. The goalie did extremely well to get in front of that shot.
Well, what's this going to be hugely significant is we could have a 4-point swing. It could have been 3 at the other end for Glencar Manor. It could easily be a point now for Geevagh because they've come right down the field. They've won a free from inside the semicircle, and it's going to be kicked in by Elaine O'Reilly. Nailed a couple already in the opening half. This well within her range and compass, playing with the breeze in the second half. The Geevagh number 10 has kicked it in as cool as you like and gets that score. Geevagh move a little bit closer. Geevagh 1 goal and 7. Glencar Manorhamilton out in front 2 goals and 9. 3 minutes 44 seconds gone, second half. Kick out taken almost immediately, goes to the far side. Again, it's going to be pressure here for Geevagh. They work the ball down the field once more, inside towards Sinead Maughan. Very close to the side, or relatively close to the sideline over the far side, as you can see. Ball won back by the Glencar Manor team. Again, they're going to try and work it down towards Aideen Glancy. There's so many brilliant ball carriers on this Glencar Manor team as well. Glancy bringing it forward here. Looked at the space opening up for her. Here's Leah Fox. She'll be smarting after missing one a couple of moments ago. She's on her bike again. She's been encouraged to keep going. Leah Fox is almost unstoppable in that form. Well, the injury she sustained had her done coming into the game, but I tell you something, the medical recovery must have been second to none. She's got another point. It's Glencar Manor 2-10, Geevagh 1-7.
Great score there from Leah, and great work by Aideen Clancy. Aoife Gilmartin winning the ball back and Aideen Clancy carrying it up, but giving the pass at the right time.
We've almost played at this stage now 5 minutes in the second half. The scoreline reads Glencar Manorhamilton 2 goals and 10, Geevagh 1 goal and 7. Our streaming coverage brought to you by Solace, shining a spotlight on local heroes, and of course on the radio end of things for our listeners on Ocean FM, Bernie's Beauty Salon, situated on O'Connell Street in Sligo. There's treatment being issued there to one of the Geevagh players at the moment. It's Aisling Sweeney, or is it? No, it's a number who's getting that treatment. Just confirm it in a moment's time. Maybe it is.
It is Aisling
Sweeney. It is the goalkeeper receiving some treatment down there.
There's another player down as well.
Shot. Yes, my apologies. Aisling Sweeney, the goalkeeper, as you can see there, is getting treatment as well. And there's another one of the Geevagh players down injured, as you've seen just a couple of moments ago. A couple of minutes before that, as some of Maeve's notes here in the commentary box goes flying in the wind. Well, let's see what any of the two teams' chances here go flying in the wind at the moment. It's looking good for Glencar Manor. The other player, incidentally, for Geevagh, as you can see there, is their number 2, Rebecca Breheny, who picked up that little bit of a knock. She's going to be okay to continue. And really from Geevagh now at this stage, they have that breeze, as you can probably see. It's difficult enough to judge if it's any real advantage. It's blowing diagonally. The flags behind the goal telling us that it seems to be ever so slightly just blowing from the stand all the way over towards the terrace side. Let's talk to me a little bit about the playing surface here in Markievicz Park. All the games I've seen here over the course of this year, this standard of pitch here has really lent itself to brilliant summertime football and hurling.
It does indeed. It leads itself to good speed play. The pitch looks wonderful today.
Absolutely. Conditions looking absolutely perfect, and full credit to the LGFA in Connacht. They were so keen to make sure that this particular competition was finished, and we're getting a 5-star venue for a 5-star game. There's a hard hit going in there. Here's Ava Glancy bringing the ball forward, down again to the full forward line. Opportunities for Leah Fox here. It's Leah Fox. She could finish it here with a goal. Leah Fox takes the point.
I think she was looking for her goal though, John.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, she danced through the defence there, and she slotted it over the bar in the end. 2 goals and 7 for Glencar Manorhamilton, 1 goal and 7 for Geevagh. I tell you something, wind or no wind, when Glencar Manorhamilton, with their fitness levels, with their movement, with this running game, they're so difficult to stop.
And they're so fit, but they're also so strong. You saw how Alva Clancy was able to ride that challenge there, really strong.
Yeah, it's one thing maybe you couldn't make the suggestion, try and stop possession going in at source. I tell you something, it's easier said than done. Geevagh now attacking again themselves. They've got potential match winners here in the game. They've managed to get the ball down here towards, is it their number?
Stephanie O'Reilly.
Stephanie O'Reilly has it once more. Players lining up here to get a pop at this one. It comes out to Cora Ryan. Back out it comes to Elaine O'Reilly. Whistle sounds from the referee as the ball was in mid-flight there, and it's going to be a free in for Geevagh.
We can see the Geevagh have changed their game plan. They've taken Stephanie off Myrne and they're now going for the direct route, get that ball into Stephanie O'Reilly and see what damage she can do.
They need goals, I would almost respectfully suggest at this stage, trailing 2-11 to 1-7. We're almost 8 minutes into the second period of play. Elaine O'Reilly, right-footed free, in it goes from Elaine O'Reilly, and the umpire is going for the white flag, and that's another score from her. She's kept the scoreboard ticking over for them. Elaine O'Reilly, brilliantly taken score again. It reduces the deficit. 2 goals in 11 for Glencar Manor, 1 goal in 8 for Geevagh, and there's a change about to be made very shortly as well. The linesman down under us here, or linesperson I should say down under us, getting ready to make that change in the 4th official very, very shortly indeed. We'll confirm that in just a couple of moments here. Meanwhile, over on the far side of the field, 2 players gone down again. I tell you something, it's been 1 or 2 almighty hits in this second half. No quarter's been asked or given.
No, and it's a great battling performance from both teams. Both teams giving nothing and wanting to. They really both want to get that win.
I presume it's going to be for Geevagh, is it? It's 1 for 16 as the board is going
it must
up.
be.
Must be. Aisling Sweeney, when we mentioned that she did seem to be receiving treatment a couple of moments ago. Indeed, both goalkeepers have been in the wars here. But the fact
limping.
that Aisling Sweeney is limping, she's limping badly over on the far side of the field. 2 players receiving treatment, as you can see in camera shot at our streaming service as well. A player for either side down injured in front of the terraces over there. Meanwhile, there's going to be a change in the Geevagh team as well. Amy Gaffney is the substitute goalkeeper. Aisling Sweeney is the player who is coming off. Well, Aisling Sweeney, who made those couple of brilliant saves in the earlier part of the game, been forced to come off. Amy Gaffney is 18 years of age, a student, made her club debut back in 2019, won a senior championship in 2020 and an ACL Cup in 2019 as well. This, it would be fair to say, would be the biggest game of her career.
Absolutely, and I think Rebecca Breffney gone off there for Geevagh.
For Geevagh, so they've been very much having to make the switches there as a result of that last little bit of a collision in play as well. So it's going to be another opportunity for Geevagh to get something moving here. They need scores from somewhere at this stage. 2-11 to 1-8 the trail.
Looking down the pitch there, you can see 2 spare. Manorhamilton are getting their players back into defence. 2 spare players in Manorhamilton ready to pick up any loose ball.
Trina Mulvaney is one of the players who has also come in there for Geevagh. She's wearing number 29, so that just makes the second part of the missing part of that jigsaw there for their change. The player who is fouled is Cora Ryan. Takes it quickly, plays it outside her once more, linking up here with Sinead Mahan, has come into the game. It fits and starts, but she's a constant threat right throughout. And look at the defending going back in there from Glencar Manor's Amanda Sweeney. She was making sure that she was getting to that ball. She's hurt herself in the process as well. There's another change about to take place as well. Number 2 is going to be coming off and number 29 is coming on. We'll confirm
that's happened.
That's happened. That's the confirmation of the change that has happened. So at last the paperwork is complete. Now Glencar Manor on the attack. Ball going down there, but Geevagh had players flooded back. One of them was Bernie Byrne. Just look, they're operating Sinead McTiernan now at this stage. It might be a matter of robbing Peter to pay Paul, but they have to try something. Bernie Byrne gets it down inside again. Well come out by the Glencar Manor defence. They're winning those individual battles, and I tell you something, Rebecca Rooney has read the game like a book all day.
Rebecca Rooney also having great games with Leitrim at the moment as well, so you can see it coming through there.
Hugely impressed by the way she reads the game so well. She always just seems to have this knack of being in the right place at the right time to snuff out attacks, and the other thing about her as well, her distribution has been second to none throughout the game.
Excellent. It is one thing that they're so able to find. They're running for each other and they're able to find each other.
Well, it's a Glencar Manorhamilton team that also includes James Clancy, former Leitrim inter-county footballer. So many family connections between wives, girlfriends, cousins, you name it, on this particular team. They have really, over the last couple of years, emerged as a serious contender, not alone in the block in Leitrim, but indeed at provincial level as well. And here's Deborah Rooney running again at the Geevagh rear guard. The fitness levels of Glencar Manor are absolutely unbelievable at this stage. Rooney eventually is played outside. Here's Leah Fox, again going to trouble the Geevagh defence. They've got two players around her. She still is able to take the 1-2, gets it onto the right boot. Oh, what can you say? You just run out of words to describe the magic of Leah Fox in this particular game. She's kicked another one over the bar. It's 2 goals on 12 now at this stage to Geevagh's 1 goal and 8. And I tell you something, Leah Fox, well, there's so many contenders for player in the match down there. She's been majestic.
A wonderful interplay between herself and Aideen Clancy there. She was stuck for place. She gave it out to Aideen, pulled back out a little bit of space to take the shot.
Well, the second water break has arrived. My word, did that third quarter not go in so fast. Just look at Leah Fox coming off the field there. There was so much concern about her, so many injury worries about her in the lead up to this game, but she is putting in a tour de force, a 5-star performance of her, which really is proving to be the difference in no small part between the teams at this stage. 2 goals on 12, 1 goal and 8, Maeve, for Glencar Manor. How soon do you go into game management mode at this stage?
I think how Manorhamilton played, Glencar Manor played, they'd be better off just keep pushing that ball on, get it into the forward line. As soon as you get it, they get into their forward line. They have such ability to see each other and to play together that they're always going to be putting the other team under pressure.
It can very much be a case that I'm sure Pat Corrigan will be telling them at this stage, steady as it goes, let's keep doing what we're doing, let's keep attacking, let's turn it around now. Geevagh, at this particular moment in time, you're going into the last quarter, you're going into a provincial final, you've lost 1 or 2 big names before the game. How do you possibly turn this around?
Well, we do see that Stephanie O'Reilly has got a few frees down there in their half forward line. I think they need a more direct ball to her if they're going to get a little bit more from it. The ball's going out the wing isn't working for them, that Glencar Manor are able to cut it out.
The one thing I will say about Geevagh, when they have got on top at different stages of this game, they have shown they have the ability to penetrate the Glencar Manor defence. They got in for a goal just before half time. They probably need another one immediately now.
They do indeed. That's their only hope really, John, in this game. They have to keep that pressure. They have to get that ball down to their own forward line, who are able to put Glencar Manor under pressure. That's their only way.
It may only be 200 spectators here, but you can probably hear the atmosphere at home. 2 teams who advanced to the final after gripping semi-final wins all the way back on October the 4th, 2020. It's been the longest running ever. Geevagh beat Nivena of Lettermore in that game on that day by 2 goals and 10 to 2 goals and 7. At the same time on the same day in Shane McGettigan Park in Drumshambo, the Leitrim champions Glencar Manor secured their place in the first ever provincial final with a 2-15 to 3-9 win against Kilmavive Shamrocks of Mayo. They were 2 famous wins, and no disrespect in any shape or form to the big clubs from Galway or Mayo. Isn't it great to have a Leitrim Sligo final here today?
It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Neither of us will have a problem with that anyway, John.
Absolutely. Well, it's good for the game.
It's very good for the game, and it's great. It's what we want to see happening.
And you might have maybe an argument from Mayo or Roscommon, no teams here in the provincial finals for them this year, but I'm sure that could change. Meanwhile, in the primrose and blue colours are Glencar Manorhamilton at the moment, and they're attacking again. Here's Leah Fox. How much more damage can she do? She gets the ball back outside her there to the centre half forward. Here's Aideen Clancy. This time it's gone wide, but the movement, the fluency, the passing of the Glencar Manor team and the way they're able to create space, I think that's something that has to be very much picked upon and digested after this particular game. It's second to none. And
I think that's it. They're able to get each other, but it's because the players off the ball are doing the running. They're making themselves available, and they really do create space for each other.
It's always a fear, maybe after winning a first ever senior title, that could be it, but my word, the ambition and the hunger and desire that's been instilled into this particular team by the management team. They say in many ways teams resemble their managers when you can see Pat Corrigan written all over this particular Glencar Manorhamilton team. The ball has gone down there again though for the Geevagh forward line. Let's see, can they get 1 or 2 scores? Almost a little bit premature to write off Geevagh here. They're a team that there's fight in and they will battle. Here's Sinead McTiernan now coming forward, the charge of the Light Brigade. She's moving in, but she's overcarried it. And you know something, there is a time in a game where you can just sometimes ask, is this not going to be our day? That was probably it. It was a moment on the road to Damascus for Geevagh.
That was one of them, because she just took, there was 3 players lined up in front of her. She just took the few steps too many.
Yeah, it just seems that things are beginning to slowly but surely go the way of Glencar Manor. We've played 16 minutes and 18 seconds in the second half. The scoreboard, in case you've just joined us, reads 2 goals and 12 for Glencar Manor, 1 goal and 8 for Geevagh. Our coverage going out on the Connacht LGFA Facebook page. Apologies for the breakdown in transmission a little bit earlier. The other 2 finals, by the way, will also be available on the Connacht LGFA Facebook page and YouTube, and of course there'll be radio coverage as well on Ocean FM. Right now, Glencar Manorhamilton attacking. Again, they managed to get the ball down towards Ava Glancy.
Yes, they're living a little bit dangerously at the moment in the back line. They were doing a lot of passing in the back line a minute ago there. I think they're safer when they get it up front.
Emma McLaughlin, when you got forwards up front, you just got to let the ball go quick. Ava Glancy again, it'll be getting to a stage 2 where they might be thinking of maybe bringing in 1 or 2 players. I'm sure they'll be contemplating with such a large county contingent. That league semi-final a week from tomorrow, but really I suppose it's the last thing on the mind of the management at the moment. They just want to get across the line here, and sometimes you know it better than I, when the finishing line gets in sight, players can get a little bit tense and a little bit nervous.
Yeah, they've lost the run a little bit now, where they're not being as direct as they were earlier.
I would suggest the game has almost lost a little bit of its shape over the last minute or two.
It has indeed, and a little bit of its oomph.
Yeah, absolutely. Geevagh on the attack. He'll take a score. Maybe a score from Geevagh would certainly do everything to resettle everybody at this stage. It might come here for Elaine O'Reilly. Great interchange of play. Here comes to Stephanie O'Reilly, but look at that defending back there for Glencar Manor. It was Mary Alice Maguire that made a match-winning interception on any other day. Well, that's a fantastic piece of play from the cornerback, and it cuts out that danger. Glencar Manor got maybe the little bit of a warning that they needed at that particular moment in time to tell them that this game is not over yet. They have possession on their own 45-metre line. Are the champions of Leitrim about to be crowned provincial champions? It comes out here to Emma McLaughlin. Emma McLaughlin transferring the ball inside. Here's Mary Alice Maguire, the player that made that interception a couple of moments ago, attacking on the other end of the field now. Eventually it comes here towards the direction of Ava Glancy once more. So much individual brilliance in this Glencar Manor team. Glancy takes the return to Leah Fox. Here we go again. She's running at them again. Leah Fox on the way through, onto the right boot. This time shoots wide.
Lovely little turn there, little jink past her player.
She's human after all. She's human after all. She's had some game, but just the accuracy let her down on that particular occasion. Geevagh have to attack and have to build again. They've lost it again. Here comes Glencar Manor once more. Ava Glancy this time. Glancy plays it outside her. Here's Aoife Gilmartin. She fancies a score from here and gets the shot in on the run, but it goes wide. 2 opportunities there that could have really put the game to bed, just haven't taken them.
No, and they've uncharacteristic wides, shall we say, from Manorhamilton. They need to settle a little bit. They're a little unsettled at the moment.
Probably easier said than done, particularly when you're watching it from up here, for those players down there in the field at the minute, thinking they are so close to a provincial titles, their hearts must be pounding.
Yes, it does. A little bit of nerves showing all right at the moment.
Yeah, just beginning to creep into it. But it's been some game of football. Bernie Byrne, and let's not forget
Myrne Devaney making a wonderful interception there.
She's been magnificent. Devaney again plays it outside. Look at the soccer skills coming into play here. She could be playing at the Aviva Stadium with skills like that. Here's Myrne Devaney. She has represented them international wise. She gets it back to Ava Glancy, who's going to shoot. Drops short. Substitute goalkeeper Amy Gaffney. We've hardly had a chance to mention her. She's in there. She's got that red top on her there over the blue jersey, just to distinguish her from the rest of the players out the field. We're entering into the final 10 minutes here. Glencar Manorhamilton 2 goals and 12 pints. Geevagh 1 goal and 8 in the Connacht Ladies Intermediate Football Final for 2020. Here come Geevagh. Stephanie O'Reilly running at the defence. Beats 1. Stephanie O'Reilly still. The angle is getting tight. Her shot comes in, and Stephanie O'Reilly's shot has been deflected away and has been blocked out. Was that a moment?
That was certainly a moment, and a great save there by Cammy McPartland in the goals. Certainly Geevagh would have been getting a bit between their teeth had they got that goal.
The former Sligo inter-county footballer, the former Naties club footballer, comes back to haunt Geevagh on that particular occasion. 2 big saves from her in the game, and she picked up an injury a little bit earlier on as well. Geevagh, if they are going to go down, they're going to go down in typical Geevagh fashion, and that's with all guns firing. They're going to make a fight of it here at the closing stages. Free about to come in. It's going to be kicked in by Elaine O'Reilly once more. 1 or 2 Geevagh forwards now getting on top of their players at this stage. Shot comes in from Nora O'Reilly, dropping it dangerously in and over the bar, and they've pulled a score back. Have Geevagh.
Geevagh now having their purple patches, to say, getting into this game. We'll see if they can get a goal out of it.
2 goals and 12 to 1 goal and 9 the scoreboard at the moment. Geevagh 1-9, Glencar Manor 2-12. Now the ball is played in point once more here. Possibilities for the Geevagh full forward. Here's Sinead McTiernan to the centre half back. Stephanie O'Reilly saved again. Rebound comes back out. Oh, I tell you something, it's gone wide, but Cammy McPartland has just made another magnificent save. She somehow got down, she somehow blocked the shot there, and Glencar Manor, well, they're getting a little bit nervous coming towards the finishing line, and they will be so thankful for the experience and goalkeeping ability of their numero uno.
And Cammy really putting her body on the line, making sure that the player couldn't get that shot in.
Oh, it's a game that has absolutely everything here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. The scoreboard, just let me confirm, reads 2-12 to 1-9 in favour of Glencar Manorhamilton here. Geevagh with it all to do. Referee's whistle sounds, and that's going to be another free in for Geevagh. Well, just to let you know, scoreboard here reading 2-12 to a goal and 9. Just to make a correction on the scoreline that we have on our screen at the minute, 1 point more for Geevagh. They are that little bit closer. They could now at this stage be about to go to another score. Referee has got the notebook out. There could be some bookkeeping to be done here, Maeve.
Yes, it looks like Emma McLaughlin is going to be booked for that last tackle there on
Sinbin.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't see her involvement in the game ended, so Glencar Manor.
And Geevagh really piling on the pressure here, John.
Piling on the pressure. They've got the numerical advantage in terms of players on the field now. So McLaughlin makes her way to the send bin, has a word of consolation from James Clancy there, and the free is going to come in here as well with the Geevagh number 10, Elaine O'Reilly.
So she's finished in the game now unless we go to extra time.
Unless we go to extra time, Elaine O'Reilly, well, not the best effort from her all afternoon. And that's gone out to the lift of the post and has gone out wide. 2-12 to 1-9, 15v14 on the field. Still Glencar Manor in the box seat.
Absolutely, and really I don't think the losing of the player at this point of the game is going to make a huge difference to Glencar Manor.
Particularly with their running game and the way that they manage to make space and the way they create space for themselves. Right now, it's going to be Glencar Manor who have possession here now. We've got about 6.5 minutes remaining of normal time plus injury time. Glencar Manor carrying the ball has gone out there towards Leah Fox. How glad they are to have her back. She's close to the sideline, far side of the field. Again, she jinks inside her marker. She's on fire today. It's been an absolutely magical display from her, but she's been forced out the field on this particular occasion. They retain possession all the time here. To Glencar Manor. Ball being worked short over towards this near side of the field. Ava Glancy again trying to move it in. So many potential match winners on any given day here, and the shot is kicked in by Murrin Devaney, and Murrin Devaney settles the Glencar Manor Hamilton nerves, gets the crowd going again, gets the scoreboard ticking over again, and Glencar Manor at this stage now have moved to 2-13. It's a score good enough to win any county final. That's a risky strategy on the kick out. Are people going to get away with it? Not yet, they're not. It's back with Leah Fox once more. Glencar Manor have got a player down injured. It's Murrin Devaney. Leah Fox plays an outsider. Racing onto this one was Melissa Hewitt, but again they're going to cut it out, and it's an opportunity for Geevagh to draw breath. Oh, it's a thrill a minute this.
It is indeed. Alva Clancy getting a bit of a bang on the head, it looked like, from the player beside her in that tussle that went on there.
Megan Devaney bringing this one forward. Devaney linking up with Elaine O'Reilly. Elaine O'Reilly looking to see what options are inside. She's going to carry the ball deep in. Riley making the move onto the 45-metre line. Still Elaine O'Reilly gets that pass away, links up inside with Markievicz McDonough, who's throwing caution to the wind and gone right up in the attack. But Glencar Manor have got bodies back. They've got 14 on the field, remember. They're going to defend like tigers now in the closing stages here to make sure that they get across the line. Cora Ryan looking to try and prise open the opening for Geevagh, but it comes out to this near side of the field, and Glencar Manor's defending has been absolutely brilliant all day, Maeve, and none more so there by Mary Alice Maguire. She's been magnificent. To Leah Fox again, over on the stand side of the field this time. Leah Fox, lovely diagonal ball that any forward would absolutely love, and has gone inside there, and it's put inside by Eva Glancy. Goal! Game, set and match. Glencar Manor, made by Leah Fox, finished by Eva Glancy. It's Glencar Manor's day, surely. 3-13 to 1-9. That goal was a thing of beauty.
And again, Dervla Rooney bringing it up from the back line straight to Leah. One ball over, three kick ball in the back of the net.
That diagonal ball, if you're coaching any young team, it's so hard to defend. It was a precision pass, but what about the finished in as well? That was absolutely brilliant.
When Alva gets on her left foot in that position, she's deadly.
Now, Geevagh really need a score from somewhere. Here they come. They've got the possibilities here. It's their number 7 who's bearing it on goal, Megan Davey, but it's gone over the bar. She had to get a goal in that time to make any type of a game of it, but it just crept over the crossbar, and Glencar Manor collectively breathe a sigh of relief. 3-13 to 1 goal and 10. You can just imagine how this is going down in Manorhamilton today. I'm thinking of the various hostilities in the town and the likes of Phelan Gurns and co who'd be watching and listening to this. It must be absolutely magnificent for them. They have a couple of hundred spectators in here today, 200 allowed into this match, but I tell you something, this Glencar Manor team, they'll be the street, they'll be the heroes of the town for another few weeks. Here they come again, they're going to try and finish off in style here. Deverill and Rooney bringing the ball forward again. Rooney has been absolutely magnificent all throughout. Glencar Manor have been magnificent. Geevagh have battled hard, but really they've been so difficult to stop this team. Leah Fox is bearing in again. Two dummies, gets her past her marker, links it out inside with Ava Glancy, who turns and shoots and sends it in, and the umpires have a little bit of a conversation, and eventually the white flag is raised, and it's 3 goals and 14 points to 1 goal and 10, and Glencar Manor have put in a hugely impressive score here today, Maeve.
You have to admire the way that Leah Fox is able to combine with so many players. A wonderful passing in there, and when Alva is on her left boot, she's unstoppable.
Absolutely, they have players in there who have really turned it on in style in the county final. So many brilliant, talented players out there, but collectively their defence has been magnificent as well. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about the contribution of the goalkeeper, for instance, Cammie McMartin, who made some absolutely brilliant saves throughout as well. It's been a team ethos when you digest this, when you look back at what has catapulted them here to the verge of provincial glory. A team after winning their first ever senior title in Leitrim just back in the summer of last year, had a big victory on that particular occasion over Banlamore. Shorna Hestlins got through the championship, just lost one game to Banlamore in the group stages, but they've come back here with so much style, with so much experience, with so much composure. You'd swear they've been knocking around this circuit for years, Maeve.
Yes, well, they have got a wealth of experience from underage, it has to be said, and many of them playing in other fields as well, so other codes such as soccer and what have you. I mean, Aoife Gilmartin has done a tower of work there at midfield. Melissa Hewitt, the amount of defending that she has done. These players have worked their hearts out all day.
We have spoken about, I suppose, the youthful, I suppose, presence that's in the team with some young, prolific forwards, but you're dead right, you've touched on it there, the experience. It's got that combination, and it's an overused cliche in sport, that combination of youth and experience, hugely significant. We'll come back to that in a moment. Geevagh need to score. Jim Braheny bringing it forward here. Dangerous one dropping in from distance, but it goes out to the left of the post and wide. There's movement now in the Glencar Manor bench. They're going to be bringing in 1 or 2 players later on. I see there are a couple of subs warming up here for them. It'd be an opportunity maybe to get some of them into the game. Number 29, Lisa Clancy, is one of the players that's going to be brought in by the manager. Number 3, Mairead Clancy, is one of the players who is definitely going to be coming off. And number 19, being, as we mentioned, coming in as well there for Glencar Manor, Antoinette Ferguson. Number 24 is the other player that they're going to be throwing into the mix later on here. Number 24 is Michelle McNulty. What a moment for those players coming in and coming out.
Absolutely, and Michelle McNulty will be delighted to be getting on here today. She's a player that has soldiered for Manorhamilton for many, many years.
Always important to acknowledge recognitions like that, and I'm sure if you speak to any of the management team afterwards, they will tell you it's the sum of the parts, it's the strength and depth of the panel. The players who maybe haven't necessarily started here today have pushed the other players all the way to make sure they have come back. But what about a team with those fitness levels who have just come out of a lockdown, which have been absolutely magnificent? 4 minutes of additional time, we've been told as well, will be played at the end of the second half here. So Glencar Manor at this stage, you can chalk it down, are about 4 minutes away from provincial glory. 4 minutes of additional time just been confirmed here over the public address system at the minute. Murren Devaney, you know something, you could watch some of these players in action all day, and I make no excuse for saying that. I know it might be tough on Geevagh and Geevagh fans at home, but sometimes you have to sit back and look and admire the brilliance of the likes of Leah Fox, who has it inside the 21-metre line, back to Ava Glancy, onto the left boot again, and she kicks it in and kicks it over the bar. Less inexperienced players, less players with composure, might have gone for goals, but they're happy to take points. They're about to make another change as well. Number 24, Michelle McNulty, as we mentioned, coming in, and number 18 is the player Emily Conlon, who started the game despite 18 on her back. She is the player who is going to be coming off. It's a display that's difficult to describe.
Indeed,
it's been brilliant.
and you could indeed stand and admire it, John. It has to be said, it is very enjoyable to watch how some of these players play.
Well, absolutely. When we've all thankfully beginning to come out a period where blanket defences have ruined football, maybe even creeping into hurling at one stage or another, you can just look at the pure enjoyment, the pure, I won't say total freedom that's been given to the teams there. They've all had tactical plans, they've stuck to those, but you've got management setups in charge of the teams here that are instructing and giving players, and if they've got individual talented players who can get scores, they're coming up with game plans where they're utilising them.
They are, and they're allowing the players to show their own creativity and allowing players to play together as teamwork. There's been great teamwork seen here today.
Spirit taught as well for the number 18 for Geevagh, who is just going off there with that
Nicola
O'Reilly. She's picked up a knock there and just been helped off over the far side of the field. Number 5, more changes been made for them. Cleveland McDonough, it seems. 18 about to come in as well, and it's going to be just a timeout, blood sub on it there, so they have to make that little timeout there for that number 29 back on there as well for them at this stage. Trina Mulvaney. It's all really been a day where Geevagh came in with so much hope, very much intent on trying to replicate the team of 2006 and winning a provincial title. It was always going to be somewhat of an unknown quantity about Glencar Manor, and that's turned out to be the case here today. Byrne again bringing this one forward. Geevagh, in fairness to them, you know, their score isn't bad, 1 goal and 10. It's not a bad score in the final, but there was just so much firepower for Glencar Manorhamilton. It's so difficult. You might maybe be able to keep 1 player, 2 players quiet, but there's other players that are stepping up all over the place, like Deborah Rooney wearing number 14, but our work rate has been absolutely magnificent. Gets the ball outside of there. In possession of this particular case is Anthony Ferguson. Ferguson coming inside. You can probably hear from the sideline there as well. Our sideline Mike just picking up 1 or 2 of the voices on the sidelines. Apologies for any languages maybe that mightn't necessarily be used before the watershed, but you can imagine and you can appreciate the emotions that are on the line. Number 14, Deborah Rooney, is coming off with Glencar Manor. Number 21, by the way, Gemma Tiffany, is going to be introduced here right at the death, and a referee waiting to award a free for Geevagh, but Glencar Manorhamilton have a number of players back on the line, each and every individual player as they come off now. Deborah Rooney in this case getting a standing ovation from the Glencar Manorhamilton followers that are lucky enough to be here in the stands here today to witness history being made, to witness them announce their arrival on the provincial stage. Meanwhile, the free kicked in by Elaine O'Reilly, who has kept Geevagh scoreboard ticking over in the main all afternoon, and she's tapped that one in and over the bar. 3 goals and 15 points for Glencar Manorhamilton, 1 goal and 11 for Geevagh, and really at this stage we played 3.5, almost 4 minutes of injury time. We were informed a little bit earlier on that there will be 4 minutes of injury time. Just imagine what the scenes of celebration are going to be like down at that sideline for Glencar Manor in a couple of minutes time, Maeve.
Absolutely, I think they're getting ready for it already, John, but again, Murnavani being picked out by Cammy there for kick-outs since the last part of this half.
Yeah,
they've lost the ball here now.
They have lost it, and Geevagh, as we mentioned, will bring it all the way to the finish here. Geevagh team that won the Sligo Championship after 1 or 2 difficult moments along the way. They've kicked that one in there from Stephanie O'Reilly, looking for what can be described as a consolation score at this stage, and in fairness to her, she's got exactly that. She's a wonderful player, Stephanie O'Reilly too. She's a magnificent player, and you know, today just not her day, but there are 1 or 2 very talented players out there as Glencar Manor introduce Anna Devaney now wearing number 22, number 10 Emma McLaughlin, a player with an absolutely monster of a work rate, is going to be coming off as well. She's put in quite some shift out there this afternoon.
And that's the little sister of Murren's younger sister coming on there.
And absolutely brilliant to see the dynasty and the conveyor belt of talent well and truly alive in Glencar Manor. Right now they've played the ball over to this near side of the field. Number of subs on, hasn't really broken up the whole flow of the game. Glencar Manor have got this game plan where they continue to run, they continue to work regardless who's in possession. Mary Alice McGuire, and with that the referee blows the full-time whistle, and just look at Pat Corrigan, just look at his face, just look at the celebrations in the Glencar Manor. He goes down on his knees, the players congratulate each other all over. And you know something, PC has been a difficult few months for him as well since they won the championship. There he is down there celebrating this, and the job that the Glencar Manorhamilton management team have made here and have done with this particular team, it's been second to none. It's been a wonderful performance. Maeve Quinn described that victory.
Well, you know that they're going to be delighted. This is something that they've only just come up senior, and then they've gone and won senior. Now they've won a Connacht title. It's an amazing achievement for them.
It's absolutely amazing for them. They're a team that really, at this stage they will be looking and trying to raise the standards and raise the bar all the time. The senior championship and Leitrim intermediate Connacht champions now as well. For this team, and nobody is going to get carried away with it. They know themselves that as you move up the levels, you have to improve, and there's a transition involved. But I could be safe in saying that the raw potential is there in that team where they could compete maybe at a higher level.
Absolutely, totally. And I mean, I suppose the unfortunate point about it not actually having anything further after this is that particular team could very possibly have won the All-Ireland Intermediate Club Final. And they're not going to get the opportunity to. And next year Leitrim will be senior when they go out of the county. Well,
there's Matthew, who we mentioned a little bit earlier on, with his dad Pat, and indeed the whole family celebrating this. As we mentioned, it's been an emotional time for them as well. They have put so much, they've invested so much into this particular project at Glencar Manor, and it's great to see them here getting their just rewards this afternoon. Let's spare a thought for Geevagh as well. They battled so hard in the game. Players that they were missing, the likes of Niamh Ryan, and we mentioned her in the beginning of the commentary. Cochleen Corcoran didn't start as well. One of the McDonoughs were missing too. There was various players from Geevagh that unfortunately, due to injury and other things, just could not take part in this game today. The long layoff between the matches, the COVID lockdown, having to train individually, but really I suppose they just hit a team here where everything went well.
Yeah, and Glencar Manor were obviously keeping their fitness levels up, but Niamh Ryan would have been a huge loss to Geevagh today.
Alright, okay, Maeve Quinn, thank you so much indeed. We've really enjoyed working along with you. Well done to Glencar Manorhamilton. They've won this one 3-15 to a goal and 12. We've got the presentation on the way.
Solace has been lighting Irish homes for many years. Now, with the drive towards LED bulbs and more energy efficient lighting, Solace also leads the way. Solace would like to wish everybody taking part in today's county finals the very best of luck. And remember, when you're choosing a bulb for your home, choose Irish. Choose Solace. The light of Irish life.
Wishing our senior ladies team good luck in the Connacht LGFA Club Final. Bring it home, girls. From all your supporters at Glencar Manorhamilton.
Best wishes to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club Championship finals, especially Owen Rua, Geevagh and St Nathies. From all at Sligo LGFA. Our all-county draw tickets are on sale. Top prize, €5,000.
Best of luck to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club finals from Deirdre and the staff of Molly Fultons. Best of luck to Kilkerran-Clonberne ladies in the 2020 Connacht final.
Wishing all the teams the very best of luck in the Connacht Club finals. Especially Owen Rua in the junior final from Raymond and all the staff at Ridgepool Fuels and Valeting Ballina. For all your fuel and valeting needs. 087 0522 101.
Best of luck to all teams playing in the Connacht Club finals from all Roscommon LGFA.
Best of luck to Owen Rua from Muddy Burns Bar and Restaurant. Come and experience our new outdoor heated and roofed dining area. If you'd like to be part of our team, contact Mark at markcar1805@gmail.com.
Best of luck to our players and management in the Connacht Junior Final. Thank you to everyone who has supported our new lotto. Yearly tickets still available and weekly tickets are available online if you would like to support. Visit our Owen Rua Facebook page for more details.
All at crushers.ie. Wish Kilkerran-Clonberne girls the very best in the final. Primary plant.
James Foy Auto Service have been providing the public with an honest, reliable and prompt service since 1989. With over 120 years combined experience, we specialise in vehicle, accident and breakdown recovery and have provided a successful 24-hour service for the past 30 plus years. We have built a highly trusted and respected reputation throughout Sligo and the surrounding area for our breakdown recovery and garage services. You can be sure that with our skills, experience and ability, you will be in safe hands. Call 096 47052 or 087 254 1243. RecoverySligo.com.
Join the Hub, co-working in Sligo. Just bring your laptop and work with us. Located in Colooney, with lifts to all floors, canteen, dedicated desk, reception facility and free car parking. www.cmd.ie or 071 913 0742. info@cmd.ie. Best wishes to all the clubs taking part in the Connacht Club finals, especially the St. Nathan's team and management. For painting and decorating, give Jerry a call. Jerry O'Connell, painter and decorator. No job too big or too small. Call Jerry on 086 846 7962 or 071 914 6148. Best of luck to everybody taking part today.
You're very welcome back to pitch side here at Markievicz Park in Sligo. We have the first of our 3 games played. Glencar Manorhamilton are the intermediate champions in Connacht for 2020. I don't want to confuse you. We'll get back into that if you've just joined us. We're delighted to be joined by the Glencar Manorhamilton manager, Pádraig Corrigan. Pádraig, great win. I mean, look, we were talking here at half time about how we might be expecting a kickback from Geevagh. Your team handled it really, really well.
Yeah, we knew that was coming. They always do. That's their mantra, that they always keep coming. When they put number 6 in there, Stephanie O'Reilly, we'd concerns and all that. They probably didn't deliver the ball into her, because when she gets it, there was a danger there. But we handled it. Look at them girls will do anything for you. They'll do anything to get this. This is a quest for the last 18 months. You know, it just wasn't today. You know, this was beach running, this was Zoom classes, this was training 3 times a week, not from 15, 16, from 40 girls, and that's what it really, really is about. And, delighted for them.
How difficult is it? We were talking with Claire and Nikki before throwing. You know, these are the 2020 finals. It probably has its positives in the time of the year we're playing them. I mean, we're in great conditions here today. But then you have that trying to keep things going, as you said, the beach running, the Zoom classes, the gym sessions. Yeah.
Now, in fairness, we were lucky. We'd, shameless plug, the training hut, Kieran in the training hut done the Zoom classes for us, and we done a lot of body conditioning 3 times a week. We 26, 27 doing it online. That was a collective even together, but they bought into it far better than any lads. Them girls by it. Once they decided they were doing it, they were doing it. It was hanging over us for a while. We didn't know. Every time the COVID kind of started, we were opening it. Is the Connacht final going ahead? No, yes, what do we do? But look, today makes it all worthwhile. You know, it makes it all the sweeter.
Well, how sweet is it? I mean, we saw the celebrations there in the last few moments. They're absolutely over the moon, and rightly so. A Connacht title is not an easy thing to achieve. I heard you saying to Claire there, you knew once you got over St. Joseph's that you were on the way to this, did you?
That's a huge thing. St. Joseph's were always been beating us over the time, right? We bet them in the semi-final last year. We moved on. The girls, you could see them, they just got that off their shoulder. Kilmovee then in the semi-final. We got our matchups right. And then today we were just waiting for this. But the hardest game we ever get is in Leitrim. People don't think that, they think we're a small little county. There's fantastic footballers in Leitrim. You know, we just have to believe, and others, not just the players to believe, the county to believe, get backing, proper backing like the men get in other places.
How important is it for ladies football in Leitrim? How important is it for the club to have this Connacht title?
We've done an awful lot of work with academies and all that. There's a conveyor belt coming. We had to get over a few mountains and all that. So now the next generation have to aspire to be Connacht champions, not just Leitrim champions. That's it. The pedestal just went up a bit. So, wow. We'll hand it over in good stead next year to whoever takes over.
Well, Pádraig, we're going to let you get to the presentation. I know that's next on the agenda here, a very important part of it. Congratulations and well done. Thanks for joining us. Pádraig Corrigan joining us here on Connacht Ladies LGFA platforms, and of course we're live for 2 more games a little bit later on today. Just while they're getting organised there, I'll get a brief word from Claire and Nikki. Now we'll be back with them in just a couple of moments. Claire, delighted. I think Pádraig, you know, he's nearly a little bit speechless at it, because the joy, the relief of getting that game over you, that second half that, as he said, we knew what was coming, he knew what was coming, and actually going up there to accept a Connacht intermediate title.
Yeah, PC is a very passionate man, and delighted for Manorhamilton and Leitrim today. I said at half time that it'd be Manorhamilton by 2 or 3, and it was Manorhamilton by 2-3 in the end. What a show. Like, they dealt really calmly with anything that Geevagh threw at them there. They were obviously very aware of the threat, but they were pretty flawless now. It really was something to admire.
Absolutely. Nikki, I don't want to hold them up too much there, but at the presentation stand, I should say, look, I mean, we spoke as we were coming back on the pitch here to regroup. Geevagh did have the kickback, but Glencar Manorhamilton were so calm. I think it was you made that comment, that maturity really came through. It was an impressive second half display.
Oh, massively. Like, these are clearly, as you look at them, they're only kids, but they do not look like kids out there, and they're dealing with very experienced team in Geevagh. Geevagh, they did kick in the revival, they tried it, but they were so well handled. Like, it was an unbelievable performance from Manorhamilton from the get-go, and they should be delighted with the performance. It's devastating for Geevagh, but look, when you come up against a team like that, as hungry as that, there's nothing you can do. You stand a chance.
Sorry, Nikki, I know they're waiting for the presentation, so we'll have a bit of a chat afterwards, but let's hand over now to Con Moynihan, and we'll have the presentation of the Connacht Intermediate Club football title to Glencar Manorhamilton.
Thank you to the referee.
They're all like dogs.
People here, great supporters, particular foreign players, but it's not that we couldn't have had it full because I can tell you one thing, everyone would have been here enjoying that. But in saying that, I want to thank our Connacht for streaming the matches, and I hope a lot of people watched it at home because it was certainly worth watching. First presentation is for player match. On the player match, I just want to go to Glencar. Might have some people maybe different at the end. But anyway, we do like to go to the way ahead and no one won't. Number 12, Geevagh.
So as Glencar Manorhamilton's joint captains celebrate, a little bit different because they're absolutely dying to get out onto the pitch with the cup to their teammates. Of course, because of COVID restrictions, they couldn't do that until now. So you'll see the scenes behind us there. Just delighted, and it's great to see these games being played at this time of the year. Leah, of course, Fox named as player of the game, and Claire, I said to you, I'd have no argument with that whatsoever watching it, but I was just remarking, like, her knee was fairly heavily strapped up in that game, and you were kind of saying she'd injured that at county level a few weeks ago, and she's doing her leaving cert, so like she's a busy sort of a lady.
Yeah, look, Leah will take all this in her stride, knowing her, but yeah, she took a knock in the match against Derry. She has been out, but she seems to be recovering pretty well, obviously, as we saw there today. So delighted for her. Look, it's always a nightmare picking a player of the match for Manorhamilton because they all work so well together that it's very, very hard to pick one particular player, but Leah fully deserving of that award there today, so really happy for her.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were talking to Pádraig, we just shortened it a little bit for the presentation when we were chatting with yourself and Nikki, but what does that mean for ladies football in Leitrim? I mean, that was a good display, a really dominant display, mature display, as we discussed. Like, it's a really comprehensive one for an intermediate Connacht championship.
Yeah, look, it means raising of the bar, raising of the standard again, which Manorhamilton have been pushing to do over the years. Obviously, we've had some ding-dust battles, and it just means that's the level that Leitrim football is going to be played at, and all the other teams involved need to reach that standard if they want to compete.
Absolutely. Nikki, just a word on Geevagh, because we were saying, we have to compliment them on that game there today. They just were up against a stronger team, but for them, I mean, they can build off this as well, can't they? A Connacht Intermediate Club final appearance is no easy achievement.
No, it's no easy achievement as a team from Sligo or Leitrim, as Claire Latesta. We grew up in a generation where it was Galway, Mayo all the way, and you look around today at the representation from the weaker counties. For Geevagh to reach that height today, after the long break away, you have to take today as it was. Getting to the final itself was a huge achievement for them, and I hope they take huge pride in that, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for them. The heads will be low, but they achieved a huge amount as a club and as a team, so fair play to them.
And you mentioned that there, that's what I'm saying to Claire about what this will do for football in Leitrim. But for ladies football in Sligo, as you said, for years we watched two counties dominate the club scene. Things are changing, and they're changing really rapidly, and they're changing for, with teams like Glencar, Manorhamilton, Geevagh looking really strong.
Absolutely. Well, both these teams came in having beaten a Mayo and a Galway team, and they always say, like, I've watched over the years, like, whoever beats the Mayo or the Galway team wins, and sure, who could you pick from today? Like, both of them had tough semi-finals, both of them came through. They're the ones that we aim towards, and that gap is steadily closing. It really is. We've got more to see. I won't talk too soon because there's a few coming ahead today, but it's great. It's fantastic for both counties to be representing today alone, the two counties, and look at I would say it was a toss of the ball, but it wasn't. It just came down to grit today, and fair play to Manorhamilton. They had the grit today.
They certainly did. Well, we really enjoyed that opening game. If the next couple of games are anything like that, we have some big treats in store for you. Of course, we'll take a little break now. With COVID restrictions, there is a little bit of a break between throw-in time in the three games here at Markievicz Park this afternoon. The next game, of course, gets underway at 3:30. It's the junior final. Owen Rua and Niamh Wara will be contesting that one, and then of course we've live action with the senior final at 7 o'clock as well again this evening. So we'll be back again as we were with this one just before the throw-in time. We'll have a little bit of build-up for you to that junior final, which is coming up at 3:30 this afternoon. So do make sure that you rejoin us in just a little while on all of the Connacht Ladies social media platforms this afternoon.
Solace has been lighting Irish homes for many years. Now, with the drive towards LED bulbs and more energy-efficient lighting, Solace also leads the way. Solace would like to wish everybody taking part in today's county finals the very best of luck. And remember, when you're choosing a bulb for your home, choose Irish. Choose Solace. The light of Irish life.
Wishing our senior ladies team good luck in the Connacht LGFA Club final. Bring it home, girls. From all your supporters at Glencar Manorhamilton.
Best wishes to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club Championship finals, especially Owen Rua, Geevagh and St Nathies. From all at Sligo LGFA. Our all-county draw tickets are on sale. Top prize, €5,000.
Best of luck to all teams taking part in the Connacht Club finals from Deirdre and the staff of Molly Fultons. Best of luck to Kilkerran-Clonberne ladies in the 2020 Connacht final.
Wishing all the teams the very best of luck in the Connacht Club finals. Especially Owen Rua in the junior final from Raymond and all the staff at Ridgepool Fuels and Valeting Ballina for all your fuel and valeting needs. 087 0522 101.
Best of luck to all teams playing in the Connacht Club finals from all Roscommon LGFA.
Best of luck to Owen Rua from Muddy Burns Bar and Restaurant. Come and experience our new outdoor heated and roofed dining area. If you'd like to be part of our team, contact Mark at markcar1805@gmail.com.
Best of luck to our players and management in the Connacht Junior Final. Thank you to everyone who has supported our new lotto. Yearly tickets still available and weekly tickets are available online if you would like to support. Visit our Own Rua Facebook page for more details.
All at crushers.ie. Wish Kilkerran-Clonberne girls the very best in the final. Primary plant.
James Foy Auto Service have been providing the public with an honest, reliable and prompt service since 1989. With over 120 years combined experience, we specialise in vehicle, accident and breakdown recovery and have provided a successful 24-hour service for the past 30 plus years. We have built a highly trusted and respected reputation throughout Sligo and the surrounding area for our breakdown recovery and garage services. You can be sure that with our skills, experience and ability, you will be in safe hands. Call 096 47052 or 087 254 1243. RecoverySligo.com.
Join the Hub, co-working in Sligo. Just bring your laptop and work with us. Located in Colooney, with lifts to all floors, canteen, dedicated desk, reception facility and free car parking. www.cmd.ie or 071 913 0742. info@cmd.ie. Best wishes to all the clubs taking part in the Connacht Club finals, especially the St. Nathan's team and management. For painting and decorating, give Jerry a call. Jerry O'Connell, painter and decorator. No job too big or too small. Call Jerry on 086 846 7962 or 071 914 6148. Best of luck to everybody taking part today.